The culture is actually damn good.
We're not urinating on the fire.
You can stop asking that question. I'm going to be calling the defenses.
I'm open. Always open.
I'm calling both games.
Sportsball is sponsored this week by Aura. It may be close to the end of the year, but it's never too late to start protecting your personal information. You can be as careful as humanly possible, but it will still be compromised. You know why that is? Data brokers harvest this info and sell it at a premium to whoever will pay for it. Robocallers, spammers, telemarketers, websites, and more. Ever wonder why you get so many spam calls? This is why. How do you fix it? With Aura. They can identify data brokers exposing your info and submit opt-out requests on your behalf. There are too many loopholes and dead ends to do it on your own without tearing your hair out. But Aura makes it super easy not only to do this, but set up everything you need for online security. The jack of all trades with anything vital to the digital toolkit. And best of all, it comes at a very affordable price. Online safety isn't something you really think about, but it's extremely vital in the modern age. So why not get a 2-week free trial of Aura? You can go to aura.com/utree to get started. Having your information out there is like walking naked on the street. You wouldn't do that, would you? So get Aura and clothe yourself in your online travels. Now on to the video. Some things never change. Despite the hoodie having one of the worst offenses known to man, the Steelers still can't beat fucking New England. It's one thing when their defense gets diced by quality quarterbacks, but Bailey Zappi? No inside linebackers is one thing, but the secondary's falling apart as well. The Patriots somehow scored 3 touchdowns in one half when they hadn't matched that total in a month. Absolute embarrassment for a franchise. The king is stripped of his clothes. And the worst part was that New England was begging the Steelers to steal yet another game. But Pittsburgh kept getting outcoached into a damn wall. Constant fuck-ups on offense to the point where fans were calling for Mason Rudolph to play. The Yinzers are down bad. This was a paper-soft underbelly of a schedule this past month, and Pittsburgh may have cost themselves a playoff spot in the process. New England won, but they may have cost themselves Caleb Williams. The Bears are the real winner here. And Mitch Trubisky had the best performance he's ever given that franchise. Fucking chuck a 4th and 2 at midfield. Brother, just get the first down. It's not fucking hard. By the way, Patriots, you may have won the battle, but lost the war long ago.
Short pause, yeah.
Good lord, what a game of football we've just witnessed. In climate-controlled conditions, both passing attacks not only sputtered and crashed to the ground, they set themselves on fire after the fact and ran around in circles. Bryce Young is completely broken, shattered into a million pieces and scattered by the winds of misery itself. This dude literally can't do anything. His offense isn't shitting it, he's missing wide-open targets. Repeatedly. Even if Carolina got 200 yards of rushing in garbage time, the whole damn offensive philosophy's in disarray. Wernicke ain't got nothing on the chaos taking place here. Now, if you simply scoreboard watch, you'd say it was an easy Saints win. It wasn't. New Orleans' offense is as much of a travesty as usual. Derek Carr played through several nagging injuries, and it's making him look even worse. Are we gonna talk about how he was averaging 2 yards an attempt in the third quarter? Even his own linemen are going off on how useless he is. You should be thankful Bryce is taking the heat off him. New Orleans was so bad they had to touch over 200 yards of offense. The Saints more or less won because the Panthers are sludge runoff from the old Coke plant. Yet despite how shit they are, they can still make the playoffs in the god-awful NFC. Another team that frustrates me to no end. Tell me if you've heard this story before. It's a rainy Sunday at MetLife where all forms of offense go to die. Despite rumors spreading like wildfire, Zach Wilson is indeed starting this football game. Zach, blink twice if you're being held at knife point to play. Like all matchups in this hellhole, there are only misery and injuries. The first half happened. That is the only positive that occurred in the first 30 minutes. If it didn't end, we'd have been stuck in an endless punting loop. The fortunate thing is that Robert Saleh gave the Jets offense some of his secret stuff to do this revolutionary thing called moving the football. What is this I'm seeing? Zach Wilson not being complete ass? This is unbelievable. It's almost as if he's showcasing the talent that made him a second overall pick. Or it could just be the magic of the Houston Texans finally running out. Their greatest weakness seems to be really shitty opponents. I don't know why, but they turn into a pumpkin in these scenarios. Not to mention Nico Collins' calf gave out on the first charge. I'd say it couldn't get worse, but CJ Stroud's been struggling immensely against the Jets' defense. They gave him a concussion as a parting gift. As General Mills flubs everything, there's only one way to wash this week off. A liquor shower. Who expected this to be for playoff position at the start of the year? Football gods have their way of keeping us on our heels. We can, at minimum, confirm one thing. Jake Browning's performance last week was not a one-off. He was guiding a balanced approach to the Bengals' offense throughout the game. That is, until a small hiccup on the road. Indianapolis embraced their opportunistic nature to both go on a long drive and score a pick six to tie the game up at 14. Now, only if they had the offensive talent to take advantage of such momentum and keep up with Browning. Too many mistakes in the second half. Gardner Minshew further epitomizes his role as a spot starter and the special teamers with punts. Opportunities slip away and the game drifts further and further from view. Once again, Cincinnati grasps onto their playoff hopes and refuse to let go. But they're still out of a spot right now due to tiebreaker. Indianapolis somehow is still the 7th seed. Pretty big game coming up against Pittsburgh, isn't it? With it being a home game and how bad they look, this should be manageable to win 5 of 6, right? Right, Colts? I have to ask, Detroit. Are you okay? Is there something you need to get off your chest? Do we need to hug it out? With how strong they looked in early November, you'd believe that they have the chance to make serious noise. Yet recently, the Lions haven't only revealed their weaknesses, they're flashing them like a pervert on the street. Their defense is trash, only existing to give confidence to their opponents. No need to contain Justin Fields or DJ Moore, just let them go ham. And Jared Goff? Back to garbage 2021 form for him. But these are the Bears. Detroit's up by 3 at halftime with possession in the second half. This should be easy for them to win. How do I explain this? Now, in this time frame, these felines didn't just falter at the gate, they flat out self-destructed. No discipline, no structure, no ability besides sloppiness and poor execution. They're priming themselves for a vintage January wildcard loss. And their division isn't even guaranteed anymore. What is guaranteed is Chicago's ease. After weeks of ineptitude, they're finally showing progress. And Carolina's endless suckage will grant them Caleb Williams if they want it. Justin Fields is extremely inconsistent, but this is a QB-hungry league. The Bears can get a decent return for him in the offseason. It'll hurt, but it's for the best. Wait a second. Trevor Lawrence is starting today? After what happened on Monday night? Pretty ballsy to be coming out with a high ankle sprain, but never question the fortitude of an NFL player. Or question the fortitude of the Browns. Who the hell knew that their best quarterback this season would be Joe Flacco? Even with him sitting on a couch for most of the year, Flacco's reviving to his old Ravens days. He loves him some tight ends. David Njoku, congratulations, here's one of the best games of your career. The Browns defense will do the rest. Turns out that starting a quarterback days after a major injury with limited mobility isn't exactly the best idea in the world. Trevor's channeling his inner check down Joe and arm punting the ball with the greatest of precision. The Jags have replaced their ability to play football with becoming pastry chefs. 4 turnovers on the day resulting in a team scrambling to find answers. In Jacksonville, your defense can't do every single thing for you. Great, they made it close in garbage time. Woohoo, it means nothing. Duval's in deep shit if they can't get it together consistently. Cleveland sits back laughing in delight. And Flacco's earned himself a great honor. A permanent starting QB gig. I mean, he is the best one they've had all year. It makes sense. This is a low-key intriguing matchup in the early window. The Rams are in position to strike for a wildcard spot. The Ravens are eager to prove they can finish opponents off. The last time they played each other in Baltimore, the result was heartbreak for the home crowd. They're hoping to avoid that in a surprisingly back-and-forth affair. Both Stafford and Lamar are taking turns picking up our defensive fronts and coverages throughout. We have ourselves a battle here, folks. All tied up at 20 halfway through the third quarter. Times are tight as... Oh no! Oh dear. Oh dearie, dearie, dear. It's not ideal, is it? It's all good, though. The Ravens' defense clamps up, forcing a punt, and Lamar gets revenge with a methodical, precise drive to get them to the red zone. But it isn't enough. The field goal does get them the lead, however. Now it's time for the Rams to counter. Some outstanding catches and dissecting of zone defense have gotten LA into an ideal territory, and they punch it in for a touchdown to retake the lead. The 2-point conversion fails, though. Can't have everything go your way. Baltimore, it's concerning, but here is your chance to avenge past failures. To prove to us all that you are the class of the AFC in every way possible. Lamar is doing his job to accomplish it. They do what needs to be done in the effort to resecure a lead. The red zone has been reached, but the walls are closing in. 3rd and 17 coming up. Put up or shut up time, Ravens.
Deep drop. Time to throw. Lets it rip. He's got Flowers! Touchdown!
That's why you pay that man the big bucks. Not to mention a 2-point conversion to go up by 3. There's just too much time in the clock. Stafford's been known for his heroics in the past. Things are getting tense, but fortunately the Rams can push forward into the end zone. And overtime awaits after a kick to tie the game. The Ravens get ball first, but can't do anything with the opportunity. The Rams were nice and responded in kind. Baltimore might need a miracle.
Tylan Wallace from the 25. Tylan Wallace breaks out of a tackle, takes it down the sideline. He stays in bounds. He stays on his feet. He takes it all the way and ends the game. There are no flags.
So caught up in narratives that I swore to myself the Ravens would lose this game. What a world we live in where it doesn't happen. With this victory, Baltimore's won 7 of 8 and set themselves up nicely to secure the number 1 seed in the AFC. You have my attention, Ravens. I can't truly shake the doubts, but wins like this help prove me wrong. Well done. Not the prettiest one in the world, but I'll take it. Winner of this game will hold superiority over Tank Division. This is one of the most damning testaments to how painful the NFL has become. An actual division of an elite American league will be held by its version of an old lion or the scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz. If only Atlanta had a brain. Passable quarterback play, proper scheming. The hell is that? Easy touchdown for Tampa, but remember this is Atlanta. What do you mean they actually threw the ball to Kyle Pitts? Yep, that's it. Someone's getting killed in the locker room. Both teams want to lose. Tampa Bay's out here tossing the ball 5 yards behind the damn line of scrimmage on a 4th and short. But Atlanta can't do anything with it. So they can just rely on Younghoe Koo. Or not. Good offense? Do you expect that from an Arthur Smith team? His game plan involves a damn monkey banging cymbals. As Younghoe Koo somehow blew another kick. Oh no, you can't get bailed out by Talon again. Poor Arthur. Given enough time and the Falcons' defense finally breaks. Rashad White and a long touchdown to give Tampa a 2-score lead. But that's not enough for Atlanta. They have to give the home crowd more false hope that perhaps they can win it again. Arthur Smith can escape his own incompetence because he actually used Bijan on a drive. The Buccaneers managed to move into field goal range, but not much more. And it's now a 5-point deficit for Atlanta. Cue the Bucs secondary turning into Swiss cheese. Todd Bowles isn't much better than Arthur, you know. Desmond Ridder does something somehow, and they get a touchdown. Life cannot end. I want to be free. Bad news for the Falcons fans in attendance. Do you know what Baker Mayfield does best? Pull up his big boy pants and lead a clutch touchdown drive. It's almost routine.
35 seconds. Mayfield to the end zone. It is caught. Otten, touchdown.
The Bucs are going to win. This is the most hilarious outcome imaginable. Atlanta should have, at minimum, a 3-game lead on this division, but Arthur Smith is an idiot savant. Heavy emphasis on idiot. Tampa Bay, who had lost 6 of 7 before last week, now leads a living testament to relegation. Wow. This is Tank Division. This is art. Embrace the shit show. I don't blame any Chargers fans out there if they've simply checked out of the season. From how they were dominated by both the Broncos and their fans at home, they might already be finding other ways to spend their Sunday. There are much better things to do than watch a hack and Brandon Staley become a slave to the analytics gods. Witnessing Liquid LA embrace the recessive genes and turn into fucking Quang Duck dousing himself in gasoline every week is amazing. 0 for 12 on third down and 1 for 6 on fourth. Light a damn match and set them ablaze. Denver got all but a free win by suffocating their flaccid attack in the Vance Joseph redemption arc. That's when you know this year's been fucked. And it's also with another quarterback voodoo curse. Justin Herbert, you are the next lucky recipient of a game-ending ailment. Prepare for the long-marinating meme of Easton Stick. No, I just want to watch hockey. Probably be better than watching the Chargers get their asses whooped up and down the field. The Bronco offense wasn't even world-beating, but they did more than enough. If I were Staley and Telesco, I'd start packing shit up in cardboard boxes. Their time of pretending to be the smartest men in the room is coming to an end. If you thought things were bad in Chargerland before this moment, oh, now you really get to experience hell. Justin Herbert is the hope and savior of this franchise. He's the next quarterback to be taken out by the gods. Surgery's needed for his finger injury. He's out for the rest of the year. Everyone and their mother was blaming him for liquid LA choking in every situation, but now you'll get to see how bad things can be without him. The truth is pain. The future is pain. The only comfort in life is pain. This franchise honestly deserves it for how they fumbled everything in sight. Fuck you, Spanos. Seattle's on a death spiral, but things are only getting worse for them. Geno Smith's nagging injuries are going to keep him out of this vital contest. The Seahawks must trust Horsecock Locke in a battle against an entire fucking armada. The thing is that Locke managed to hold his own for the most part. He wasn't firing balls wildly into the air this time around, which is tremendous progress for the man. The real problem was that they were playing against San Francisco. Being passable just isn't good enough. And the Niners crushed teams like this for breakfast. They did the typical San Francisco things. Huge splash plays on offense, effectively dissecting defensive units, allowing the stars at the skill positions to lay waste to all that oppose them. When you're up against a Seahawks defense that can't tackle worth a damn, it's become routine. The contest slowly got out of hand in due time. And then the real Drew Lock stands up for 2 turnovers as the Seahawks lose their 4th straight. An all but certain wildcard spot has been squandered. And while they've had a brutal schedule recently, Seattle has no one to blame in the end but themselves. So who's on the docket for next week? No pressure, boys, just the season on the line. I noticed more than a few people were surprised when I didn't separate Chargers versus Patriots last week for greatest game. That matchup was unwatchable, but at least that had the excuse of being in awful weather conditions. So what's the Vikings and Raiders' excuse? This was played in a dome. How was this so offensively inept? It was definitely a game, but far from the greatest. Maybe a locale of the week win. Yep, this is getting separated. No rest for the weary, I suppose. The Buffalo Bills are in crisis mode. Headed into their bye week, their Super Bowl aspirations haven't just gone sideways, they're spiraling down towards the ground. Sitting on the outside of the dance fighting for their playoff lives. And as the head honcho, Sean McDermott is squarely in the crosshairs. Many Bills fans want his head on the table at Christmas dinner, served with plentiful helpings of passive potatoes and a mac and cheese offense that fails to evolve. It all came to a head in a series of damning articles by Tyler Dunn released this past week. On a blank canvas, McDermott is painted in several artistic styles. He's a man who lives in his fears, an egomaniac, a complete hypocrite that takes no responsibility for his actions, and a failed motivator. Because when I want to cite an example of team building, I use the terrorists from 9/11. If that fails, I use a story about a woman stuck in a car near the crest of Niagara Falls, and then died. The wasting of Josh Allen continues, yet the team actively denies this slandering. Both players and executives rally to defend their man, despite the allegations of him being a cancer on the team. If one side or the other is correct, it will come in time. And the only real way to fix it is by winning. It's been a rough week and change, hasn't it? So if those are the only things happening in Buffalo as of late, we can simply move on. This is going absolutely swimmingly for that franchise. After a mess of a few weeks, the Bills will have to face their football kryptonite, the Chiefs. Kansas City is nowhere near full strength due to a lack of hands and Mahomes dancing for 5 seconds before a 360 no-scope, but the rest of the group is as deadly as ever. However, they missed one key component. The Bills are treating this like a playoff game. It kind of is if we're being honest. Being up 14-0 early will do plenty to confirm it. But then Josh Allen does his standard Josh Allen interception. You take the bad with the mostly good with it. That sinking feeling starts to fester in the bodies of every Buffalonian. Kansas City creeping back into the picture slowly and surely, turning it into a 3-point contest with the standard stuff of old. The Bills' offense stalling out when push comes to shove, and the Chiefs fumbling the ball at midfield to kill off their drive. Wait, wrong segment. The Chiefs kicking a field goal to tie the game back up. It keeps happening with the Bills, and it shows that things need to change. Despite Kansas City being nowhere near peak ability, they're finding ways to steal another win. Now the Bills can only do one thing: rely on Josh Allen to bail them out. Does it pretty well, for being honest. Sadly, even then there are times where it isn't good enough to finish the job. Buffalo's forced to kick a field goal. It feels inevitable. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. KC's doing the thing again. Just put them out of their misery. This is so predictable.
There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage as the pass is to an open Travis Kelce, who flings it back over to Tony. My goodness, this is going for a touchdown!
Darius Toney really loves ruining the Chiefs' ambitions, doesn't he? You'd think for all the smack he's been talking to Giants fans, he'd want to back up his claims. This is merely offsides. Dude's so far past the line, he's in fucking Kansas. Good going, dumbass. You just cost your team the game again. And he's more than earned himself a co-share of Lolcow of the Week. Do you know how hard that was to do in this stretch? Patrick Mahomes wants heads delivered to him on a spike. Spoiler alert, it's not the refs he should be after. If I'm a Chiefs wide receiver, I'm running for my damn life and living under an assumed name. Their stone hands and brains have allowed the Bills to save their season in a situation they've never won in before. We're seeing a team melt down in real time. The bitching and moaning continues into the night for a blatantly obvious penalty that nearly everyone agrees was justified. Even the ref secretariat was in Colorado. Their ascension to the new Patriots of the NFL is complete. We need some Camembert or Roquefort to go with this vintage wine. To all those that are listening to this message, this is a national warning. All football fans are under a shelter-in-place order for the foreseeable future. Toxicity coming from Dallas is reaching levels we haven't seen in years. The Cowboys' relentless suffocation of the formerly superior Eagles has resulted in a super strain of deserved arrogance. Even limited exposure to their chest beating and dominance will be fatal. Relocate to the lowest level of your house or a bomb shelter immediately. Ensure that you have at least 2 weeks' worth of canned goods, bottled water, and other necessary supplies. Be on the lookout for signs of a deadly affliction of Cowboys fandom. They include but are not limited to praising the team defense, verbal diarrhea, warranted superiority, foaming at the mouth, and calling the Eagles frauds. Do not turn on any electronic device, as they will be corrupted by chants of Dak for MVP. If your significant other or children are currently away from the home, assume them dead. This is your first and final warning. Good luck. And how about them Cowboys? The winds of MetLife are a strange beast. In a game where Green Bay had an unbelievable chance to not only solidify a playoff spot, but solidify their hopes and dreams, they're shitting the bed. What the hell is happening here? A team on the verge of a breakthrough, only breaking every bone in their body. Is this the wind swirling through the stadium, or Wink's defense, or just shitty play? The only thing that's certain is that Vanilla Joe Barry's defense can't stop the run. The only thing saving their bacon is that their adversary is Tommy DeVito and the Italian gabagool. Enough bada bing to make it look like we're a side of marinara, capiche? The stereotype of a Packers showing deserves more than this. It's sloppier than a fucking 4-year-old eating pasta. Green Bay's got the lead at halftime, but it's far from over. Today's special, though. Monday night didn't just need one complete shit show. It had 2 of them.
I'm calling both games.
Miami's running out of gas. Their high-flying attack isn't exactly high-flying when everyone and their mother is going down with injury. Every time I tuned in to watch this game, another player was on the ground wincing in pain. The Dolphins are down 4/5 of their starting offensive line. They're playing with a backup center, and the worst-case scenario has happened. The Cheetah's been poached by defenders. Even Waddle and 2 are flirting with the damsel known as injury. This game has proven one major fact. Miami runs through Tyreek. Without him at full strength, the offense straight up dies. fact, both offenses are dead. Both Tennessee and Miami keep falling on their face in the red zone. At least the Titans are starting a rookie and are having growing pains. Why are the Dolphins reinforcing stereotypes? You're tied at 13 against a team lost in the abyss? Press the panic button and let the chaos fly. And Tennessee takes these opportunities and collapses on themselves. See, Titans, this is why you're completely irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. Miami's up by 2 scores, yeah, this game's over. Back to the MetLife Circus. It would be awfully nice if Green Bay could stop being so incredibly sloppy with things. Packers special teams selling games, it's like we're back in 2021. Hell, the G-men are begging you to take the game back, but the Packers offense suddenly gets love-struck with field goals. It'd be fine, yet Vanilla Joe Barry keeps getting the runs. Their defensive diarrhea's making Tommy DeVito into a made man. The modern Duck Hodges deserves an 8-point lead. Oh, the Packers will come back, we say. They can't just implode like this. But they absolutely can. Overthinking everything imaginable in the red zone, effectively slaughtering the drive in place. And then Packers special teams. Oh, joy. The G-men aren't even good this year, you know that? So why the hell is Green Bay suddenly treating them like they're back in their 80s heyday? Am I supposed to be satisfied Packers special teams finally did something good? It doesn't matter whatsoever, the Giants are running away with this game. It's gonna happen now, an incredible miracle of miracles.
Back-to-back big runs and still going. Tripped up and down inside the 20. The ball comes out. And for now, it is being returned by Carrington Valentine. They're letting this play go.
I should really just shut my mouth. Be perfect as Green Bay gets a bailout that makes the U.S. government envious. They're nearing the goal line, but we've seen this movie before. Maybe they'll surprise me this time.
Blitz, end zone, catch made, Heath again. And the official that would make the call gets knocked over. Touchdown, Green Bay!
Thank the gods Jordan Love remembered how to throw a football. Only if they could have gotten the 2-point conversion. Another fuck up to add to the pile. It's now mission critical. One job is paramount. They need a stop, and the Packers defense buckles like me on the squat rack. Absolutely wonderful. They didn't deserve to win this shit anyway.
The hold, the win for the Giants.
Man, Green Bay really pissed this away in a year ago. In one fell swoop, the rest of the NFC is cheering in delight. The 7th seed and its repercussions have been disastrous for football. The Giants and Bears are now 1 game back of a playoff spot. Both of these teams have been complete fucking trash this year. See what you've done, Packers? Now New Yorkers are buying into Tommy DeVito as their franchise QB. Memes are truly becoming more than dreams. There is some good news in all this bullshit. In addition to the endless opium spreading around the NFC, San Francisco is the first to secure their ticket to January. So, why aren't we moving to the playoff roundup? Did I miss something in the chaos? Oh no! Miami? What are you doing? You're up by 14 in the waning moments of the game. You're supposed to play defense to hold the lead. They turned it back into a 1-score game in a nanosecond. We're favored by 2 touchdowns against these fuckers. The Titans are supposed to be dead! Mike McDaniel's offense doesn't have an off switch. Why in the good Lord's name is your defense turned into an Aaron Glenn unit? Does anyone know the Heimlich maneuver at Hard Rock Stadium? Is Stephen Ross betting on the Titans' money line? Someone stop them!
Henry cuts it back, dives and scores, and Tennessee has tied it up.
Oh my god. I didn't know Miami cosplayed as the Falcons. To call this a joke is insulting to the term itself. This was a Chernobyl-style meltdown. A game that was all but won fumbled away in hilarious fashion. They made Will Levis look like a franchise quarterback. They gave their rivals life. I don't exaggerate how much they blew it. Before this moment, teams that were down by 14 with 3 minutes left were 0-767. This was only the 5th time this has happened in the 21st century. An unprecedented collapse deserves an unprecedented honor. 3 recipients of Lulcow of the Week. No, the Dolphins aren't frauds. That's a slap in the face to everyone that is one. Titans, thank you for your gift to the meme world. Now watch as Buffalo ends up winning the division.
You had an opportunity, and you blew it.
Well, this is gonna take a bit to sort out. Scriptwriters are generating so much hope that it could power a small town for years on end. A mediocrity carousel that'll make your head spin. The age of upsets brings us endless mosh pits. In the AFC, the Ravens seem to be the only team capable of separating themselves from the rest. Miami had a chance to match them, but they choked and are stuck at number 2. But that's only because the Chiefs and Jaguars have been in a state of freefall as of late due to a variety of reasons. The first wildcard spot standing alone are the Joe Flacco-led Cleveland Browns. Gotta love overcoming adversity. Speaking of adversity, the Steelers have self-imposed it on themselves, yet are somehow bullshitting their way to the 6th seed. Even zanier Indianapolis holds the final spot by tiebreaker. It's a 6-way tie for 2 spots. The Texans, Broncos, Bengals, and Bills are alongside them fighting for a chance to move on. The NFC is even worse off, but we have a new number 1 seed in San Francisco because Dallas has usurped the Eagles in the division lead for now. They're in 2nd place. Detroit, despite their struggles as of late, have 3rd seed, which won't be in danger. That's because Tampa Bay is somehow leading Tank Division. The abomination we hoped would die. They'll have the right to host Philly in a wildcard game if things stand. With 2nd wildcard, I don't know how, but the Vikings are in sole possession of it. A million explosions and somehow alive. Same as Green Bay in the wildcard spot that should not exist. A 5-way tie exists for the right to get slaughtered. The Rams, Seahawks, Falcons, and Saints are also in the mix for better or worse. And in the background, the Giants and Bears are kicking back laughing at how the hell they're only a game back of a dance ticket. Welcome to the mess, kids. We've got 4 games left. Only 1 spot's been clinched and 2 teams are out. Buckle up. Keep your hands inside at all times. And one more thing.
Don't get eliminated!
Bring out Jadine! Bring out Jadine!
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost.
The bloodlust of the football gods will never be quenched. Amen.
Christie kicks it high and short. Going to be fielded by Lorenzo Neal at the 25. Pitches it back to Wycheck. He throws it across the field to Dyson.
He's got something.
30,
He's got
40,
something.
50.
He's got it.
40.
He's got it.
20. 10.
He's got it.
5, end zone. Touchdown Titans. There are no flags on the field. It's a miracle. Tennessee has pulled a miracle.